Kick things off. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the American Family Insurance Dream Bank, where we believe in the transformative power of dreams. My name is Andy Frisky. I'm a senior coordinator here at DreamBank, and on behalf of the entire team, we're so thrilled to have you with us here. As we get started, we always like to learn where people are joining us from today and encourage you to share this in the comment section if you're comfortable. I am tuning in from downtown Madison, Wisconsin, and a lot of this event today features a lot of the metrics and points surrounding Madison, Wisconsin as well. So for those of you who've attended our virtual or in-person events in the past, welcome back. And if this is your first time, I'd love to take a few moments to share with you kind of what DreamBank is, who we are, what we do, and why we exist. So here at American Family Insurance, we believe that communities are stronger and the future is brighter when people are actively pursuing their dreams. And that's why we created DreamBank. It's an inspirational and community destination and virtual experience that's dedicated to dreamers everywhere. From our daily event series to immersive signature programs, there's something for every dreamer. And our offerings are designed to help you celebrate the dream journey, to overcome obstacles, and to stay motivated. And I'm really excited to bring to the DreamBank stage Yang Tao. Yang is the Director of Traffic Engineering for the City of Madison, Wisconsin, and we'll be talking a little bit about the driverless future and auto AI. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and kick it over to Yang. Yang, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you to DreamBank, American Family, for the invitation. And thanks to everyone for joining us today. So I'm going to share my my screen. So I have some slides to go through. And Andy also asked me to leave a few minutes at the end for anyone to ask questions. But during the presentation, if I have a burning question, please feel free to raise your hand. If you want some clarification, not clear about what I'm talking about, feel free to stop me, and we can definitely take some breaks as we go. So with that, a little bit about myself and why I'm interested in the technology. So as Andy mentioned, I'm the director of the city's traffic engineering division. We have about 150 employees, and we're responsible for the city's pedestrian, bicycle, and motor vehicle systems. So in addition to overseeing the staff and operation of the division, I have also been helping the mayor overseeing some of the citywide initiatives, such as our Vision Zero initiative and our Smart City initiative. So I've been, working with lots of colleagues in the city and beyond on quite a few different things. The driverless technology definitely is going to be one that impact our work. So that's why I'm very interested learning about this, and also looking forward to the discussion with you today. But before we talk about the technology itself, I would like to talk a little bit about our community. Because no matter what we do with any technology, we're really not doing it for the technology's sake, right? We're doing it for our community. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for me, our kids, and maybe their kids. So I want to talk a little bit about transportation in Madison. As you all know, that Madison covers 103 square miles, and we have a population about 287,000. So that's the latest number from the state DOA earlier this year. But as the center of the region for employment, education, healthcare, entertainment, so we really accommodated everyone around us, right? Basically, the greater Madison area. So we're really looking at serving almost 700,000 people in the area. So as a result, our daily what we call VMT. So that's the vehicle miles traveled. So the total of that every day happens in Madison is about 7 million vehicle miles. So that happens on 800 miles of our streets network. We also have over 250 miles of bike facilities. The bike path, the protected lanes, the buffer lanes, on-street lanes, bike boulevards. So we are definitely one of the most bike-friendly community in the country. Actually, we're the only one of the only 5 platinum level cities in the country for that. We are also making a lot of stride on improving transit. So last year, our transit ridership is about 10 million trips per year. Other statistics, for traffic lights, we have about 400 of them in the city, and we actually have over 18,000 streetlights in the city. We do face a lot of challenges. You all know that Madison is beautiful, but we have a very unique isthmus, right? So we have funnel all the traffic through the narrow land. That's definitely a challenge. A few decades ago, the community at that time made a decision. In my opinion, it's a correct decision to reject a freeway coming through downtown Madison. So we have to rely on the smaller roads to move the traffic. And as you know, we also are experiencing rapid growth in the area. They see the fastest growing region in the state of Wisconsin. People are moving in, so the traffic demand is increasing. And we are also having changing demographics. Our population is getting older and also more diverse. So, the equity become a bigger and a bigger issue. How to serve those elderly folks, those disabled, and also people of color. So definitely a challenge out there. And also, we really love our lakes. We want to provide protection for our environment. Also, since the start of the COVID pandemic, we also saw a lot of traffic safety issues. Lots of speeding through a city, lots of aggressive driving. Especially our pedestrian, bicycle fatality injuries are increasing. So we want to find a solution for that. There are equal number of opportunities as well for us to look into. The first one is multimodal, right? So we cannot solely rely on one mode of transportation. We really need to provide multiple options for folks. And we need to make our streets more complete and green, which means that accommodates everybody, and also with sustainability in mind. And we need to provide transportation access for all our residents. That for example, those elderly folks, and also folks living in the traditionally underserved communities. We can use transportation demand management strategies to sustain the growth economically, but in the meantime, finding ways to manage the traffic demand so that we don't have to continuously expand our network. We can also do better system management. So there are technologies, practices, and strategies that we are using to make the system more efficient, smarter, so that we can do more with less. Another topic is emerging technologies. So there are technologies out there, and maybe we can learn and we can benefit. So, driverless technology might be one of them. Now I want to tell you a story. So this is a story that about two companies in the auto industry. One is the old house brand name Ford, right? For many years, we all growing up learning about it, maybe riding it, driving it, and it definitely revolutionized the industry 100 years ago. Coincidentally, another company founded exactly 100 years after Ford was Tesla. Now we know more and more about it, of course, but it's a very young company, and at that time produce very small amount of cars. However, something unthinkable happened on April 3rd, 2017. So the market value of Tesla caught up with Ford and overtook Ford on that day. So I remember that there's some financial analysts on Wall Street right away issued warnings to their clients. Tesla was overvalued, so sell your Tesla stock as soon as possible at a high. That turned out to be a big mistake. So I hope that any of you had investment on Tesla at the time. I hope that you hold on to it, because this is what happened afterwards. Not only didn't Tesla fell back, but it caught up with GM as well. At that time, it was even I think valued more than Ford. Became the largest automaker in the United States. And soon after that, the market capitalization of Tesla overtook any auto manufacturers on the planet. So it took over Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, became the most valuable automaker on this planet. So this is the valuation, from March this year. So the value of Tesla, almost doubled what Toyota was worth. So is this crazy market or what? So that's a very happy picture of Elon Musk. However, there's a lot of things I don't agree with Elon Musk. But there's one thing I agree with him. So in his response to the phenomenon, actually back in 2017, he said this: yes, Tesla is absolutely overvalued if based on the past, but that's irrelevant. A stock price represents risk-adjusted future cash flows. So future is a keyword here. And I like to use a quote from Mary Barra, the longtime chairman and CEO of General Motors. We will see more change in the industry in the next 5 to 10 years than we have in the last 50. So she said this, a few years ago. We're still in a 10-year time frame. But if you, bought a vehicle recently, I think you understand that, these words. Definitely we saw a lot of new features that hasn't been on market for, for many years. Such as, for example, adaptive cruise control, the lane keeping assist. So, and maybe, the autopilot from Tesla. Another quote I like to use is, from local government. That's the former mayor, and before that, a councilwoman of the city of Santa Monica, California, Pam O'Connor. She said, the challenge is that we don't know what's coming, but we know it's coming. We all have to learn to change on a dime. That's certainly true. Here's an example. In late 2015, I think in November, the National League of Cities, that's the organization of our city folks. So they released a report called City of the Future, Technology and Mobility. It's a very forward-looking report. And one of the claims sounded really bold at that time is, the big change. So it says, by 2030, driverless technology will be deployed in fleets of taxis and buses. So again, that's in November 2015. So it says by 2030, so about 15 years to go, right? However, we all know that only a few months later, on September 14th, 2016, we start to see driverless Uber cars being deployed on the streets of the city of Pittsburgh. So, things happening much faster than people thought about. However, though, on the other hand, from 2016 to 24, right? 8 years almost passed. We still haven't seen any fully driverless cars on the market yet. Right? I think many people asked Elon Musk many times, right, about when Tesla will have the fully functional self-driving cars available. His answer, every year is always next year. So that's kind of interesting. So, with that background, what are driverless cars? There are many definitions out there, but I really like the one from the University of Michigan Center for Sustainable Systems. So this is their definition. Driverless car is a vehicle that uses technology to partially or entirely replace a human driver in navigating a vehicle from an origin to a destination, while avoiding road hazards and responding to traffic conditions. So I feel like that's really good definition. And according to that definition, we definitely have those cars on the road now. They are also being referred to as autonomous vehicles or automated vehicles, AVs, or self-driving cars. And here's some examples of them that's already on our roads. At the front and center, again, from the story I told you, right? Tesla. Now the young kid on the block, but the most valuable automaker on this planet. So, it has that's part of, the system that, most people know. I think they did a very aggressive marketing effort. I definitely think it's beyond way beyond my comfort zone. If they're a marketing person, I feel like, they are, in some way, in my opinion, maybe branding the product as something better. They call their the autopilot, full self-driving function, right? I think recently they changed a little bit, added supervised. So just to maybe alleviate that misinformation about, this is a fully functional self-driving system. So, if you have one of the Teslas, so I want you to be aware that, they are far from being capable of, being fully self-driving. So definitely use the autopilot function, use caution. So be very careful with it. Another example, which I think, in my opinion, who are doing this in a much more socially responsible way, is Google. So their driverless car project is called Waymo. So that's the picture on the top left. So they actually have a lot of cars that's running on the roads of different cities right now. So they accumulate millions and millions of miles on their vehicles, and they are doing pretty extensive testing. And instead of being very eager to commercialize the technology. Another I think well-known name is GM's Cruise, which the picture on the top left. Sorry, the Waymo was top right. Sorry. So Cruise actually was a startup company which GM purchased and integrated into the whole GM infrastructure. But basically, if you look at all the major automakers on this planet, and also all the major car-sharing companies, not car-sharing, the ride-share companies like Uber, Lyft, like Didi in China, for example, all of them have some form and some kind of AV research going on, and they have some kind of product in development. We also see, some smaller and maybe kind of more interesting looking devices on the road right now. For example, bottom right, that's one from a company that delivers pizzas. And you might recognize the one on the bottom left corner. You've probably seen one of those if you frequent downtown Madison, especially in the UW campus area. So those are some of the kind of driverless delivery robots that's being tested around the UW campus and on city streets with our permission, with a careful planning. So it's a company called Starship. So they collaborate with UW and the city and doing some testing. We actually found it has been very useful during the pandemic. When people are very concerned about the COVID, and these devices served a lot of people, a lot of meals using contactless delivery. So how does driverless vehicles work? So basically, it's a combined system of sensors, software packages, control systems, and communication systems. So these devices work together to sensing the environment they're driving, and using software to analyze those data in real time and make control decisions. Sensors include regular cameras, lidars, and radars. For software packages, the main thing is a brain, the artificial intelligence component of it, the machine learning algorithms, and those has to process the the data coming at them from those sensors in real time, and comparing that to maybe a map stored in a vehicle, and then the vehicle will take a control and make decisions on what to do, and they'll navigate through hazards and the traffic, and they provide control to the whole vehicle. And a piece of a component that I think many people left out is a communication system, which I feel like is very important. So by providing the vehicle capacity to communicate with each other and also with other users, maybe bicycles, pedestrians, and with the infrastructure, with the roads, with the traffic signs, with the traffic lights, it makes the job much more easier, and it makes the functions much more reliable. So I would argue that communication systems should be a major part of it, even though I think many people left it out. Now I want to talk about the different levels of automation. right? Again, I think there's definitely some of the misleading claims out there on the market. But right now, they're basically like 6 levels of automation. The first level is zero, means no automation, right? That those are the older cars that we all probably grew up with and had a lot of experience with. Everything is manually controlled by human beings. And level 1 is called driver assistance. So the vehicle features a single automated system, such as like cruise control. Some people throw in the lane keeping technology in that as well. But it just offers assistance to driver. Level 2, partial automation. Those are the advanced driver assistance systems we have been talking about. The vehicle may be performing steering and acceleration, but the humans still monitors all tasks and can take control at any time. So from level 0 to level 2, so the humans are still monitoring the driving environment. But starting from level 3, the automated system takes a job away from humans and start to monitor or being the main monitors of the driving environment. So level 3 is called the conditional automation. So it does environmental detection. For example, vehicle can perform most driving tasks, but human override is still required for many situations. Level 4 is called the high automation. The vehicle performs all driving tasks under specific circumstances. So the keywords here really are specific circumstances. So it might be highways, for example, or it might be country roads, for example. So geofencing is required. So you are just operating in that boundary. So human override is still an option as needed. And then the ultimate level, level 5, is full automation. The vehicle performs all driving tasks under all conditions. Zero human attention or interaction is required. So on this day, I'm not aware of any product available, at a level 5 yet. So for example, like, if we talk about Tesla, even in 2024, I would argue that it's still level 2, mostly. I know some people arguing that it's now level 3, but I think it's it's somewhere in between level 2 and level 3. Well, I think another company like Waymo, we talk about, Google's project. I think they're actually at the level 4. I think they have a much more sophisticated system. Even though they haven't largely commercialized their product yet. But that there's some actually taxi companies using their technology, but not to like regular consumers yet. Again, no one achieved the full automation yet. I think there's some newer models from Mercedes-Benz, for example. I think they are at a model 4 as well. So what are the potential benefits of the technology? Right, we heard from many people, this is going to change our future. And this is going to be the best thing ever. I definitely agree that it's going to change our future. And I definitely agree that there's going to be a lot of benefits. But as I'm going to tell you on the next slide, I have some concerns as well. But for benefits, it can really improve safety. It can reduce crashes by eliminating human error from the equation, right? So traditionally, human error accounts for 94% of the crashes in the country. I think just recently, I think right now, you may see some big news about the US DOT, right? They are proposing some of their technology projects. They think that the technologies will be our answer for safety. There's definitely some truth to it. The second benefit is mobility, especially for those who cannot drive, our elderly and our disabled. So this will be a great tool for them. And they don't have to drive, and the vehicle just can pick them up, drop them off at places that they need to be. The third benefit, potentially it can improve efficiency of our transportation system. So it will improve traffic flow. Humans, we have much worse reaction time. So we need to keep safe driving distance, and we need to constantly pay attention. But the computers, the driverless cars, they are very precise, and they pay attention all the time, and they react very fast, and they can follow each other in a very close fashion, and really can improve traffic flow, and can reduce a lot of congestion. And we also hope that people can sharing cars, so there's maybe less traffic on the road. It reduces congestion that way as well. And it can also greatly improve equity, as the cost of offer driverless auto trips are much less than the traditional trips with the driver inside. So I saw some estimates saying that the cost of driverless trips will be less than a quarter of the existing trips with a driver. So we are making trips much more affordable for everyone. Environmental benefits, again, that assuming that the technology making it a lot easier for people to share in cars, right? I don't have to own this device myself, having it sit on my driveway or in my garage over 95% of the time, right? When I need something that I just some driverless car, it comes picking me up, dropping me off. Very convenient. So maybe we can reduce individual car ownership, and also we can optimize the trips. So for example, like if you're winning, that there's lots of cars that can be shared by people going to the same destinations along the same route. So the technology can really optimize those trips and reduce the number of trips and reduce the vehicle miles of traveled. As a result, it reduces a lot of emissions on the road. So it's really good for the environment. And another benefit I want to mention is trucking. So as you all know, that the trucking industry are facing a lot of challenges, labor shortage for long haul drivers. They are working on long hours, sometimes overtired, some safety concerns as well. So actually the long haul trucking by the technology actually is a relatively easier task, and it can really help solve some of the industry challenges. However, though, as you may notice that for the benefits, added potential here. So this may not be realized because there are dangerous potential out there as well. So the first one is the reliability of the technology and the safety. So the sensors can fail, right? When that happens, that bad things going to happen. And you can argue that you can use a lot of redundancy, just like our current for aviation industry, right? There's lots of redundancy being built in multiple engines, multiple sensors. It's true, right? But I think another really big safety concern is the decision making in complex, unexpected scenarios. I think the technology, they can be very reliable. They can be, they can be dependable as far as, perfect behaviors, right? I don't think the computer is going to, go to a bar to drink and drive. I don't think they're going to speeding if you program it not to speed. But human beings are very good at handle, some of the, blur situations, some of the very complex, unexpected scenarios. Human beings are amazingly well at, processing those information and handles it. However, it's really hard for a machine to learn that, to handle the unexpected scenarios. So if the situation has not been, in a data sets that are being used to train the algorithm, it's going to be hard for them to learn. We definitely saw some examples on the road. The top picture, that's a crash of a Tesla in California. And the bottom is a Uber self-driving taxi in Arizona that killed a pedestrian walking a bike. That can be a big concern. Another big concern is some of the ethical and legal issues. How can a machine make ethical decision making? For example, right? There is an automatic car, driving on the road, and all of a sudden, you have a child, appear on the road, maybe crossing the street, maybe picking up a ball, and the car decides that there is no way, there's no distance, no time that I can stop. What should I do? Should I run into the child, maybe injure and kill that child? Or should I maybe swerve around, run into maybe a pole or a barricade on the roadside, maybe injure or kill my occupant, or maybe that's the owner of of the car. So what should I do? So that's going to be really hard ethical decisions to make, and also liability, right? So when something bad happens, is that the fault of the car or the fault of the people in the car? We saw that actually, with the arguments on the crash involved the Uber car in Arizona, right? The driver was in there at the time, but the car was driving. So should the human driver, be liable for the death of that pedestrian? And I think that in the end, just by the way, I think the human driver pleads guilty to some of the charges, but not all the charges, by the way. And job loss, right? Human drivers going to be replaced by these machines. That's a good thing for you and me. We don't have to drive. We can enjoy. We can work in the car, but that's a big problem for our bus drivers, for our truck drivers, and taxi drivers one day. Those are their livelihoods, and those impacts are real. And also the transition period, when there are mixed vehicles of driverless cars and cars driven by human beings, how can they interact? How can the AV interpret the intention of human drivers? That's going to be very interesting. I think that's going to be a messy transition time period. And finally, the demand on infrastructure. So this will place more burden on public agencies to provide updated roads, signage, and communication systems. And to make the cars work better, agencies have to maintain the road really well. Trying to minimize any confusions to the cars. Otherwise, it's going to lead to serious consequences. And we have to making sure our signs are always updated. And we may be asked to provide roadside communications from the infrastructure to the vehicles. One interesting thing that if you're working in the transportation industry, you may know some dramas going on with a national manual. It's kind of like the Bible of our industry. It's called the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So it has been under update process. So there were a chapter proposed for AVs, right, putting some requirements on infrastructure owners, to be responsible, and that didn't go very well, right? And there's a lot of concerns. And in the end, when the new version of the MUTCD was published, that chapter was removed from the final product. But that definitely has have a lot of impacts, like on my agencies and other cities, states, counties, for example. So, with those said, how do we prepare, right? What should we do potentially to reap the benefits, but avoid the dangers? So I'm going to kind of share something that Madison is doing, not just for maybe the inevitable coming of the technology. Actually, they're already there. They're already here. But also, for other purposes, to make our system smarter and more equitable. So we call it our Smart City Initiative. For our initiative, we build quite a few partners, and many of you might be involved in some of these organizations. But we're definitely with UW Madison as our main partner. We have proposed 3 main components. So the first one is intelligent data collection, analysis, and sharing. So we want to collect data intelligently. We want to do a lot of analytics to improve the system, and we're also interested in sharing that with with anyone who may create value from it, and also sharing for transparency, for accountability, from the public. Second component is emerging technologies on vehicles, autonomous, connected, and electric vehicles. And the third part is about the smart infrastructure. So how to make our infrastructure smarter. So here's some examples really quickly. First example I'm going to talk about is our effort on building a state-of-the-art traffic signal system. So these are traffic lights, right? How can we make them smarter? We now use advanced traffic controllers, so much more functional than the older ones. And we built a robust fiber optic communications network, for many different things, right? For the city's communication efforts, for many community partners, like UW Madison, the state, the hospitals. So those fiber communication are very important for day-to-day operation of everyone. And my agency actually maintains the fiber system, and we also take advantage of that, and brought our traffic signals online, so we can monitor the what's happening at the traffic lights remotely. In the past, we have to go to each individual intersection, open up the cabinet to make any changes, to troubleshoot. Now, when we get a complaint or when we notice anything, we can all do that remotely from our office through a fiber connection. We also do a lot of special timing, for special events such as Badger football games. All of a sudden, a lot of traffic coming. We change signal timing, everywhere in the city, So it used to be a very labor-intensive process. Now it's just push a button. Also for snow days, for example, just trying to improving safety and efficiency of our road, by closely monitoring the traffic lights and making adjustments necessary. We also set up a lot of innovative detection and count system. So not only detecting cars, but also bicyclists and pedestrians and conduct, so we can make better decisions. And we also do a lot of performance measures, making sure that things are working as best as it can possibly be. Another project that we have been doing quite a bit is what they call the adaptive signal control technology. So this kind of next generation technology for correlating traffic signals, along the major corridor, for example. So this system become much more smarter, and they can adjust signal timing themselves based on what's coming at upstream. So they're all connected, and they all can adjust by themselves. We did the first project on McKee Road and Fitzpatrick Highway corridor, quite a few years ago now, and with a Beltline construction project. So that has been, we saw increased traffic over there. So it's a detour route. So we did that to handle that, but it stayed upwards because people really saw a lot of good benefits. We actually won a Project of the Year award, from industry organization. After that, we secured federal grants to do University Avenue, a state grant to do East Washington Avenue, and we have more in planning. As I mentioned, that we have over 18,000 streetlights in the city. So we're making an effort to making them smarter, and also really start to view them as an asset instead of a burden. We're making them more energy efficient, by dimming them, control them remotely, by keeping them connected. We also knows, when the street light is out, these systems can report outages, right? Instead of have to, traditionally we have to wait for a citizen to report it to us. We try to find the staff resource to do like a annual check, like everywhere. We have a staff driving at night, just pick up the any outages and go out, then program a project to fix those. But as a city grow and our staff didn't grow, we really don't have time to do those anymore. So the system comes really handy. It also has quite a bit of equity implications, as we found that in affluent neighborhoods, people report the streetlight outage quite timely, but this has been a burden for some of the underserved neighborhoods. As the folks are busy with putting food on the table, getting kids taken care of, the least thing on their mind is to tell the city, that a street light on my street is out, right? So a lot of burden for them. So this definitely improves equity in that regard. Again, we view the network really as an asset to host other smart city technologies on them. Another big effort I want to mention is our work on the Smart Park Street corridor. So this is a collaboration with the University of Wisconsin, particularly the Traffic Operations and Safety Lab, which I saw some colleagues in the audience. So we built the first connected vehicle corridor in the state of Wisconsin on Park Street. So what that means that we equip all the traffic signals with the connected vehicle technology, so that they can communicate with any vehicles or devices that can talk to them. So we are piloting projects to improve safety, mobility, bus on-time performance, and equity along the corridor. One reason we select the corridor is because it serves the South Madison neighborhood. As we know that really needs more service as people actually rely on bus there a lot, and so we're trying to do our best to help improve the situation down there. So again, the vehicles can talk to the infrastructure, which is called a V2I. Vehicle can talk to vehicles, V2V, and vehicles can talk to bicycles, pedestrians, and other devices. That's called vehicle to everything, V2X. So we're really establishing Madison and Wisconsin as the upper Midwest hub for the new technology. This also definitely helps provide the communication system, as I mentioned, for the driverless cars. So the project has been nationally noticed, has been featured by the National Operations Center of Excellence. And because we already made the investment, because between the city team and UW team, we built up a lot of expertise on this new area. We are building on the good work on Park Street, and we're applying for a few federal grants, trying to bring in federal dollars to bring the project to the next level, to improve safety. For example, here are two applications out there we submitted to US DOT, one for the SMART program, grant program, another for the ATTAIN program, Advanced Transportation Technology and Innovation Program. So hopefully we'll bring in, I think together we're asking about almost $9 million. So hopefully we can bring those funds to our community. Another effort that was going on, this actually was, at the end of the Obama administration. So US DOT selected 10 AV proving grounds, and we are one of those being selected. So it's a collaboration of the university, of the city, and many other community partners. Unfortunately, before the actual funding came to us, it was promptly terminated by the Trump administration. So we never received any federal dollars through this, even though we had a designation by the federal government. But the work, the spirit has continued. For example, that we brought some driverless demonstrations to UW campus in 2018. So many people in our communities has first-hand experience of the driverless technology. And one thing touched me most is that I saw this blind passenger come off the vehicle with a huge smile on her face. So that really touched me. And the city has also been selected as kind of a leader to join a nationwide group called the Smart Cities Collaborative by a nonprofit called the Transportation for America, to kind of collaborate with everyone. They provide some funding, so we can work with other cities together, on some of the initiatives. And our work has also been recognized by our industry as well. We won many international and national awards. But wrapping up, what's next? So I think that we continue to see technological advances very rapidly. Actually, some of my colleagues in UW Madison on the UW Madison campus doing a lot of really cool research on this topic. And if you're interested, you can reach out to them to learn more. So improvements will keep coming in sensor technology, on AI, on machine learning. And that can grow exponentially as we get bigger and bigger data sets. And there are regulatory developments as well. We need the new laws and regulations being set up, for the new reality. And we need academia to do research, to innovate, and also to do evaluation of the technology on the market. And we need to do public engagement. We all should have a voice in this because we all will be impacted. So the driverless future, I think it really depends what it's going to look like. It could be a utopia, as many people hoped for. Reap all the benefits. People are driving less. People are much happier. We are reducing our carbon footprint. Much more safer. But on the other hand, I think things can go the wrong way as well for dystopia. I think if the technology is controlled in the hands of a few companies, that's dangerous. I think they have a certain degree of social responsibilities, but they will be driven by their shareholders, to maximize their profit. We could see, them trying to sell as many as cars as possible, and we could see that everyone decides to have their own automatic car, and like even the shops, like a pizza shop on State Street, instead of paying the high rent, they just operate in a driverless car or van, just drive around the street and deliver pizza to whoever orders it. Or a clothing shop, right? They just put all their things in a van and drive around. If customer take it, try it on, and put it back what they don't want, they don't have to have the physical stores anymore. And people like ourselves, instead of sharing cars with others, we may decide to move further away from the city. And since we can do a couple hours commute, no problem. We just sleep in a car as a car driver itself. So that creates more carbon footprint. So collaboration across sectors is needed for the greater public good. We need the government to set a good policy. We need academia to do good research. We need industry to cooperate. And we need all of you, the public, to be engaged, to help us to steering this to a better future. So with that, I thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm going to stop sharing.
Thanks so much for the presentation. It looks like no questions have come in. So with that being said, we will go ahead and cap it there and see you all next time. Take care.